Hey there, my name is Miles. I'm here to go over Wilco Land's 4.6 acre property in Kane County, Utah. I want to talk about access. So it's a little bit uncertain to me as well, but this is what I have to go off of. I haven't got a photographer out here yet, but I did want to show you a photo. And sometimes what these lines are, it's a program I have, a GIS program, and it's called Parlay. So it's showing us, you know, at some point this was platted out, or a tax map is another term. So these are plots of land, right? And they also built out roads, where roads are supposed to be. So when a subdivision is created, everything's drawn out, everything's surveyed, right? And they also include roads. They didn't just make a bunch of landlocked property, or at least that's not the goal of creating this subdivision. So let's get into, like, what do you do? I mean, what I'm thinking when I look at this property, when I look at it from an aerial, this road's pretty well traveled. You're gonna be fine coming in from the south, it looks like, or even from the north up here. You can eventually, here's our property. So let's see, we get close, right? Even from the north, it looks like there's a lot of roads that are pretty clearly defined. You should be able to probably get back there. Now, and they're getting traveled, somebody is using the property up here. There's some sort of structure. So one area that was supposed to be a road, and sometimes what this is, it's parcel lines. What a parlay or a GIS map is laying over the plat map lines on top of satellite imagery. So in this case, it's Google Earth. I'm using Parlay 2.0. If you want to do some research on what that is, you're welcome to. And what we're seeing right here is this is supposed to be a road. So if I zoom in, this right here is kind of supposed to be the road. These are the parcels, and these are the roads, essentially, is what's drawn on the map, to my understanding. So you can see sometimes these maps don't lay over Google Earth correctly. So you kind of see, do you see how this almost matches up? Boom, and then it zigs over here, kind of starts to match up with that road. So these are what hypothetically should get you to your property. Now, physically, they're not, I don't know what's going to exist. You may need a surveyor at some point, but I think the best access route to this property is from the south here. So you get up here, and this is the road. We see it winding around. I think that's kind of supposed to be this road that we're seeing here along the bottom. And then you can see nobody developed this road going up to our property. So this is what's drawn in the photos that we're talking about here. This is where it kind of actually exists. This is where it should exist. But again, this is a plat map overlay. Really, it's supposed to match up perfectly. It's just technology. It's not always going to be perfect. So what we're looking at here is something that doesn't necessarily exist, it looks like, physically. You might kind of seems like there's a 2-track in here. Maybe there's not. It's going to be a little bit of an adventure. I can't guarantee anything with access. It looks like here's another road that ends there. So this road's supposed to be giving all these properties, I think, access. That includes these going up there. So that was kind of the vision. Did it stop? Did it end early? Did nobody buy these properties so it never got developed? I don't know the backstory behind it. This is Skyhaven Retreat. You can find other properties, but could be some seasonal runoff. Again, it's going to be kind of an adventure up there. And you can use Google Earth too if you're going to visit the property to see how far that is. So we're looking at about 1,000 feet there and another 850 feet there. So it's not too far up if you're looking to hike it. And you might have some sort of track to get up there too. So you'd have to work with the county, you'd have to work with surveyors and things like that to build a road. Otherwise, you're ATVing and doing things like that. So again, this is pretty off-grid. There's a reason we have it priced at our current price versus a lot more than that. If it had clear-cut access and a driveway, that's something somebody could improve and add value to the property. So again, Miles at Wilco Land, I wanted to touch on this. Looking to visit it, I recommend using GPS coordinates to get started with. We do ask our buyers to do their own due diligence. We do share a lot of information here, though, about the property that you can get started with. If you have questions, feel free to contact me. Just showing you how to use GPS coordinates and pull it up on a map. Again, this is Miles at Wilco Land. Hope that's kind of helpful with this 4.6 acre. It's a new property here, so we'll see what kind of feedback I get from people. We're getting a ton of interest in it, but again, access is the biggest question mark. I thought I'd explain that a little bit.